Hey everyone, it's Stephanie, and I hope you're enjoying my decolletage because today we are doing it Dolly style. So, I am doing my first Topic Tuesday, and it is because last week's technically, I just decided to do it today because I didn't realize this was like a thing that they were doing until I was already too late. Last week's Topic Tuesday was curate a mini collection for your favorite rom com. So this comes from the Topic Tuesday Instagram account. It's actually nails underscore topic underscore Tuesday underscore. And you can go there and see all the various prompts they do for their various Topic Tuesdays. You're supposed to get them out on the Tuesday they are due, but like nobody's counting, so I'm just going to do this. I heard about this particular prompt from my podcast partner, Danny. I know she's very excited to get her list out, and it should be out before this video is out. But I just had to hop on because I have been wanting to do these kind of videos where I kind of curate a collection for different movies I like because, the name of this channel is Fanaticure and I make fan art on my nails, and most of the things I'm a fan of are movies. And actually, even though I'm like really into horror and kind of offbeat stuff, my favorite movie of all time is a rom com. It is a kind of offbeat rom com that not a lot of people nowadays actually know about. So I'm very excited to talk to you about it today through nail polish. So let's go. So, Best Little Whorehouse in Texas is a 1982 musical rom com starring Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds, and it is exactly as good as that lineup sounds like it'll be. Also, the main villain is played by Dom DeLuise, and there are a bunch of other amazing character actors throughout this film. My mom used to show me a lot of movies that weren't necessarily appropriate for children, but that she thought I would probably just enjoy the music and the dancing. So, my favorite movie growing up, I watched it probably when I was an infant for the first time, was the Rocky Horror Picture Show. But another movie that I was sat down as an infant to watch was this one, The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. So I grew up loving it. And as I got older and older, I just began to love it even more for the incredibly beautiful romance, for the story, for the incredible songs for Dolly and Bert's just chemistry in it, and also the incredible sex positivity. This movie, I feel like, was ahead of its time, or maybe times in the past were more sex positive than we thought. It is just such an incredible, cute, wonderful little movie, and I just hope everybody watches it. There is one part of this movie that's like really cringe. You're probably going to figure out what it is. There is a nickname used for a fat woman that is not good and not okay. I just don't think that they really realized that at the time, other than literally that section of the movie. It is so freaking good. I love it so much. Anyway, let's start, and I'll talk more about the movie as I go through the polishes. So, we are going to start off with Sally Hansen's Snow What You Want. So, this is a white matte flaky polish. Now, if I could have everything I wanted, this would actually be a multi-size hex glitter topper. This is a topper as well. I don't have one of those, so this is the closest thing that I have. And I would call this, if I were to put it in a Best Little Whorehouse collection, I would call it Two Hens, One Lay, because the story about the chicken ranch is that they were a brothel. For a very long time, they started pre-World War One, and now we're there in like the 80s, maybe 70s, but I think probably early 80s since it's 82 in the movie. But this had been an establishment for a very long time, and they were an establishment during the Great Depression. And during that time, people couldn't really afford to go there, but they still needed to eat and live. So they decided to let people pay in poultry. And so you could bring two chickens and you got one lay. You learn this very early on. It's the very opening of the movie where they talk about the history of the brothel and how Mona, who is Dolly Parton's character, gets to inherit it. She is one of the favorite working girls of the brothel, and so the original owner passes it on to her when she passes away. All right, next up is Orly StarSpangled, and in this collection, I would call it Nothing Dirty Going On. So, after the opening of the movie, where you hear the history of the chicken ranch, you check in on the chicken ranch as it is right now. And Dolly Parton and her girls sing a song about how the brothel runs. I'm going to use brothel because it sounds like a lot less like jarring than whorehouse. I also have no idea how Amazon's going to feel about this video, if they're going to restrict it. I'm not monetized yet, so it doesn't matter to me now, but maybe it'll matter to me someday. Anyway, so they sing this amazing song that I think might be called Nothing Dirty Going On. Or is it just a little bitty pissant country place? Actually, I think it's called that because she says, it's just a little bitty pissant country place. Nothing much to see. No drinking allowed. We get a nice quiet crowd. Plain as it can be. It's just a bit, it's quite an old time country place. Nothing too high told. Just lots of goodwill and maybe one small thrill. But there's nothing dirty going on. And I love that. I love that idea. I love that concept. I love that in the movie, they're like, there's nothing dirty going on here, because I agree. I agree that there's nothing dirty going on there. They're not like, they are breaking the laws of, prostitution in Texas, presumably. But personally, I think that should be legal. And I think that that can be a not dirty place where people just go to have a good time. And I love that about this movie. That really does encompass what this establishment stands for. And Dolly looks beautiful. She's wearing this incredible two-tone dress. Part of it is this beautiful sequin red. The other part of it is silver. So that's why I'm choosing this color as kind of an homage to that dress. She does wear a few different dresses and outfits in that part, and they are all so stunning. Oh my God, Dolly, like how are you this stunning? How is this possible? I have no idea. Anyway, so I think that this would be perfect for that. This is Orly StarSpangled, or in my collection, this would be Nothing Dirty Going On. Okay, now we're moving on to the polish that is inspired by the movie's villain. This is Orly, you're on Sapphire, but I would call this Lord Have Mercy on Our Souls. So basically, the crux of this movie is that Mona and the previous owner of this brothel have been running this for decades. The town loves it. Everybody's used to it. Mona, she donates money all the time. Like, they're a very well-regarded institution in this town. And Mona is also having an affair with the sheriff. We're going to get into that a little bit later. But this TV muckraker named Melvin Thorpe comes to town and decides that this place needs to be shut down. So he's going to go on TV and talk about the chicken ranch and how terrible it is and how Texas has a whorehouse in it. Lord have mercy on our souls. He has backup singers. So funny. Like, the backup singers, I live for his backup singers. They're so good. Like, if you can just imagine Texas has a whorehouse in it. Lord have mercy on our souls. It's so good. Sorry, you're gonna hear me sing a lot in this, but the songs are like one of the best parts, so you gotta watch it. Anyway, he often is seen wearing a blue outfit. He's not from Texas, but he likes Texas style and talks in a Texas accent. He's played by Dom DeLuise, an incredible comedic character actor, tragically passed away, but his legacy lives on, especially in this movie. He packs his pants with a little rolled up towel. He is just the scum of the earth, and I love him for it. And so I wanted to give him kind of a flashy blue. Maybe a blue glitter would have been better, but I'm using this beautiful shimmer because I don't really have a lot of glitters in this collection. And yeah, I just think that a nice blue would be perfect for Melvin, and I think that it would go well in the collection. There's definitely like an American flag kind of scenario going, or a Texas flag, but I don't have a yellow in this, so eh. Anyway, so Melvin P. Thorpe puts them on national news. Now everybody in Texas is like, what's going to happen with this place that we've never heard of before, but now we're incredibly shocked by? Okay, up next is Trixie by Zoya, but in my collection, it would be called Celebrated Cussin' Sheriff. So this is a color that I'm putting in mostly for Burt Reynolds' character, who is the sheriff of the town, and he's also having a little affair with Miss Mona. Now, he's not married, so it's not like legit an affair, but they are sneaking around, and they actually have a song called Sneaking Around, which is so cute. You should definitely just watch the whole movie and you will see how freaking cute it is. But there is a scene where Melvin P. Thorpe, so the villain of the movie, shows up in the town and starts kind of riling up the people in the town, telling them that there's a brothel in their midst. Of course, they're all like, yeah, dude, I've known my entire life. I live here. But he's like, yeah, it's crazy. And he's got his backup dancers, whatever. And then Burt Reynolds comes out with a gun and he's like, you got to get out of here. And he curses at him. and runs him out of town. So this is for the silver of his gun. On a rewatch, I noticed his gun's actually black, but I think that the silver goes really, really well with this collection, and I think it goes really well with the name I am giving this polish. I think it all works really, really well together. So yeah, he runs Melvin out of town and he curses a bunch. And it's on TV, and the people on TV bleep out stuff that isn't even a curse word. It's really, really funny. And later on, Mona's assistant at the brothel greets him as the celebrated cousin sheriff of Landville County. And I thought that was so funny. I've always thought about that line in the back of my head. So I knew I had to have a polish called that. So this is the celebrated cousin sheriff of Landville County, aka Zoya's Trixie. By the way, this is supposed to be a mini collection. I don't know if I mentioned this is actually going to be a bit of a maxi collection. We have 7 polishes, so like one more polish than like a standard nail polish collection. But let's move on. So the next polish that I would include in this collection is Orly SE Spray, and I would call it Dance a Little Sidestep. I knew I wanted a cream in this collection, and I really like how this is a cream color with like a gold shimmer, because there's an outfit that Miss Mona wears that's kind of a similar color story to this, but also there is a character who sings like probably my favorite song in the whole movie. Like, remember when I was a kid, I would just like light up when the song came on because the guy who sings this, he's a pretty famous actor whose name escapes me. One moment. Yes, his name is Charles Durning, and I think he passed away a few years ago. And he plays the governor, and he says, "Ooh, I love to dance, a little sidestep. Now they see me, now they don't. I come and gone." And basically, his whole thing is that he is a politician, so he just like tries to say what people want to hear and not give any like particularly solid answers one way or another. And he like does such cute dances during this part that like I cannot help but just like grin every time I watch this. Even when we watched this in the Discord one time, like people were just like, he just looks so happy. And I'm like, I agree. I just love him in this part. And so many of the non-answers he gives are just like hysterical. I love it. I think it just holds up so well. So well. So I would call this dance a little sidestep. And basically his whole thing is that they have put out a poll to the people if they want the chicken ranch to be still up. Did I mention it was called the Chicken Ranch? Did I not mention that the brothel's called the Chicken Ranch? Yeah, the brothel's called the Chicken Ranch because of, the chicken thing, the chicken trade thing. And actually, if you go to Universal Studios Hollywood and you go on the tram ride, you can still see the building on the tram ride. And the last time I saw it was 2 weeks ago. And I was just so happy. I was very sad, though, in one way, because the tour guide would not stop so that I could like take a picture with it. I didn't ask him, but usually they slow down a little bit around there and show a little film reel of stuff that's been filmed there. And this time he was just like, and that's the Chicken Ranch, moving on. I did learn that it opens up like a dollhouse, though. That was something I did learn. I was not able, though, to get a selfie there, but you can go visit my beloved Chicken Ranch if you go to Universal Studios Hollywood. I now have a pass, so I plan on visiting it a lot. And I don't know, maybe I'll bring a rose to throw, but you shouldn't do that on the tram ride. But I want to. Anyway, the point is that the governor has sent out a poll seeing if people still want the chicken ranch, and the sheriff goes to the Capitol to hopefully convince him to keep it open. But while he's there, a poll comes in saying that it needs to be shut down. So Ed Earl, the sheriff, has to shut it down, and it is absolutely tragic. All right, the next polish in this collection is one that actually made me think of this movie from like the first time I laid eyes on it. This is Glisten and Glow's Party in the Park. And I got this from Polish and Beauty Expo. I got it in my goodie bag. And it is this beautiful gray cream with just a big smattering of reflective silver glitter in this. And there is this gorgeous gray velvet outfit that Dolly Parton wears in this movie at the very end. And I just think it's so glorious and so beautiful. And this polish really makes me think of that outfit. And it's, oh, I'll show a picture of it. I can't describe the beauty of this dress. It's amazing. Anyway, in this part, Ed Earl has to come to the brothel and tell them that they are being shut down. Well, actually, he's already done that. They do shut down and they sing Hard Candy Christmas, which you may know that song. It's one of the more famous songs from this movie. The most famous song from this movie is what she sings when she wears this, which is I Will Always Love You, like Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You. That song was actually written for an old partner of Dolly Parton's, like a business partner, a person she used to partner with in show business. She was moving on to her own things, and so she wrote I Will Always Love You for her partner. And oh my God, if somebody wrote that for me, I'm like literally like tears are coming to my eyes. Can you imagine? I'd be like, I'm sorry you're going, but you wrote I Will Always Love You for me. It's enough. Anyway, so beautiful, beautiful song, and how she sings it here and how it fits with the story, incredible. Absolutely incredible, because basically she's leaving the town. He's staying in the town because he's the sheriff. They've been having this affair. He wants to be in the state legislature, and she's convinced that he'll never be able to be in the state legislature because of what she does. They can't be together if he wants to do that. And so she's about to leave town forever. And he comes to, say he doesn't care. He wants to be with her. And she says, no, if I would stay, I would only be in your way, as the song goes, like me freaking tearing up. Anyway, um, but by the end of the song, he just says, I don't care. I love you. We're going to make it work. And he princess carries her, away from the chicken ranch, and they live happily ever after. And you find out later that he does make it into the state legislature, even being married to Miss Mona. And I love it. I love it so much. I love them so much. I love this for them. Anyway, that leads us into our last polish. This is Orly Stop the Clock. And what I would call it is, it wasn't poultry. So this polish, I really wanted a brown in this, and I also really wanted something to honor Deputy Fred. Deputy Fred is a character I haven't talked about, but he is basically the narrator of this piece. He is the silly, goofy little deputy of Ed Earl, and he is just such a wonderful part of this piece. Like at one point, Mona offers that they can entertain him at the chicken ranch for free, and he goes, "Oh, Miss Mona, I'm a married man." And she says, "Well, don't you think that the cow appreciates it when a steer goes to another pasture?" It's just very, very cute. He's just such a little cinnamon roll. I love him so much. And he's the one who talks about the history of the chicken ranch. And he comes through every once in a while to give, a little bit of story. And then he talks about it at the end. And at the end, he is actually the sheriff of the town. And he's always looked up to Ed Earl. So he's very, very happy to be the sheriff of the town. And I'm very here for it. He is just the cutest man. Also, he has this line at one of the scenes where he talks about the Reader's Digest and how they said that it's better to take a shower in the morning for some reason, but then he gets cut off by Burt Reynolds. And I just have to say, I want to know what they said about showers in the morning. I am desperate. My whole life, I have been desperate to know what Reader's Digest says about taking showers in the morning. Now, if you want to tell me in the comments something true about taking showers in the morning, please do. But mostly I want to know exactly what the Reader's Digest he read said about waking up and taking a shower in the morning, because I've thought about it my entire life. Anyway, I really wanted it to be a shimmery brown, because when you do a matte top coat over shimmer, it can look velvety or it can even look a little bit leathery. So I thought this would be so fun to be the picture that kind of represents Deputy Fred. He is such a precious little angel, and I love him so much. So that was my collection for the best little whorehouse in Texas. Now you have a little bit of a background on my favorite movie of all time. It is just such a comfort film for me, and I have even kind of used it for inspiration in a fanfic that I wrote that I'm really proud of. It's not the same thing, but parts of the story are just very similar, and I'm always grateful for that. I'm always grateful for this story kind of being in my brain, because I think it is such a beautiful tale and it's so unexpected. I feel like seeing it for the first time in this day and age, it might just be so surprising to somebody to find out that a movie like this was made in the early 80s, but it's been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. And yeah, I just love to dance a little sidestep. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you had a really excellent time today, please hit that like button. If you're new here and haven't subscribed yet, I think it might be time for you to subscribe. I want you to subscribe. Anyway, I also have a podcast with my friend Danny Shout. It is called Two Lacquered Ladies. It's about nail polish. If you like things about nail polish, sorry, my focus is doing the thing. If you like nail polish, you'll probably like that. I also stream nail art every Friday and Sunday. Those are the days. Anyway, have a wonderful, wonderful day today. Please be kind to yourself and also be kind to others, and also stay lacquered, and goodbye.